We continue our conversation here with Stacia and Linda of the AV Wall. So to wrap this up, I'm going to ask, this is, once again, unique to each individual there, all the time that you've been involved with the wall. I should start with you first. The one story, the one incident that stands out in your mind the most.
I had one. We were recently on display at Miramar Air Show, and there were so many people who had not seen the wall in DC. And the one element that I thought was very different was there was a young lady who saw our President Mike's hat, and it said 101st Airborne, and she walked up to him, and she was probably 40 years old, and she said, "You were in the 101st? My dad was in the 101st." And they started talking to each other, and the next thing I look over, she's crying, he's crying, because he was explaining to her personality traits of her father that she thought were strictly her father, and he was saying, no, that is a Vietnam combat veteran, and your life was similar to my daughter's life. We didn't make sense. We got angry for no reason. And seeing the healing that went on there was so emotional for me to think completely, different generations, but she found somebody that she could then relate to and get a little bit of healing from, to understand her father a little bit better, because they had a bit of a difficult relationship, and Michael and his daughter have a bit of a difficult relationship. And it was just so emotional to see that healing from a very chance encounter at a wall. I mean, it was really, really very cool to see different generations, and that was very emotional.
There you go. Linda.
As we tell people when we do the training, everybody will have an individual experience, because sometimes things only happen to one person. Sometimes they happen to the whole group. It just depends. And every wall display is unique. The one that touched me the most was the second year the wall was up. It was very, very cold out. It had rained. It was back in 2013, and we were all inside of an Easy Up, a little tent. Somebody brought us some food. It was the last night, and we were cold, tired, hungry. And one of our Red Cross volunteers was there, and she said, "I will go out and I will man the wall. You guys sit here and you eat and just relax." So there we are, and all of a sudden she comes running back into the tent, and her eyes are about this big, and she said, "I need to ask you a question." Well, it turns out there was an elderly, I'm going to call elderly, she was 80-ish, reading the wall. She came in the gate and started at the east side, and she was going like this. She was going up and down reading it. So Jennifer tried to leave her alone. Then she went over to her and she said, "Can I help you finally?" Because it was cold out and whatnot. And Jennifer knew how to read the wall, so she was going to help her. And she said, "Well, I'm looking for my husband's name." At this point, Jennifer goes, "Oh my gosh, I have to help her find this quickly, because it's cold out here and whatever." She'd been reading up and down, up and down. So Jennifer runs over, and we find the name, and we're watching now at this point. And Jennifer runs back out there and shows her, takes her down to the panel, and then backs off and leaves her alone, which is our habit. Go ahead and have your moment at the wall, and she leaves her alone. The woman, nods and thanks her and leaves. Couple hours later, we're walking the wall, we're picking up trash, we're getting ready to leave in the evening, and there's this little teeny tiny, the triangle end of an envelope that you lick to put, she had reached into her purse and she had torn that off of something. And she had, I don't know what it wasn't a pen though, it was either, I don't know, eyeliner, a crayon, a felt pen, we're not sure what it was purple. And it just said on the bottom of it, "I love you forever." And then had her name, and has his name, and then her name. And then she jammed it as best she could, this little triangle piece of paper. And of course, we save everything that's ever left at the wall. So that to me was like worth the freezing cold. We were hungry, tired. It doesn't make any difference. It's not about us. It's about those that served and died that are on that wall, and we're honoring them every single solitary time we put that wall up. It doesn't make any difference how uncomfortable we get. It's irrelevant. And that's our mantra. And we might complain. But don't get me wrong. But it's absolutely a pleasure. It is an honor, honestly. When I got involved in this, I had no idea where this would lead. No clue at all. And all these years later, from fundraising all the way to our 16th successful display in these years. 2019 will celebrate our 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
So
that'll be a
we're very
big deal.
excited.
That'll be a big one.
That'll be a big one. So, and we look forward to that, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're blessed here in the Antelope Valley to have two individuals like you and the volunteers that you have that go out there and we have our troubles in the valley, but you
Yeah.
know, when you look for the light that shines on the valley, it's individuals like you
Right.
and what you do, and you're gonna get me all choked up there.
thank
It takes a village, we keep saying,
Yes.
and we have the best volunteers
Oh, our
ever.
volunteers are
We have
amazing.
about 90, almost 100 volunteers that come out every single year, and they're
Yeah.
ready, willing, and able to help us.
Yeah. So anyway,
Wonderful.
starting Thursday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
At 5 p.m.
Wednesday at 5 p.m.
Wednesday at 5 p.m. till Monday morning at 8 a.m. Your event is on 11 o'clock on Saturday.
Yes.
Candlelight vigil, 9 o'clock on
Yes.
that
Right.
Saturday night.
Right.
Taps at 10 o'clock at every night.
Right.
And there's plenty of time there in our busy lives and
Yes.
everything for you
Yeah.
to go out there and visit. And you know, you do the one event a year, but sometimes there's a couple events. You just did Miramar,
We did Miramar.
whatever.
And
so
we did Montebello.
Montebello.
Yeah.
So
Tell them where we're going to be next.
And we will be in Phelan for Memorial Day.
Nice.
Phelan, California. They have asked.
Yeah.
very
And
cool.
then
Their town council and the surrounding areas all got together, and they're hosting the wall in May.
That means you'll draw
2018.
off of Victorville
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Hesperia.
Exactly,
and
from
all
the
those
high upper
areas.
desert. Yes.
Yeah, you will get a great turnout there
Yes.
because I'm an old George Air Force Base guy. You know,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of those retirees that live around there.
Yeah.
So
we're looking
Right.
forward to that.
So anyway, every year you have the opportunity, and come Memorial Day, you'll also have them. That's not that
Yeah.
far of a drive.
No, it's not.
And
it's
new experiences and individuals there. And
Yeah.
man, I need to get off my rear and come volunteer with you guys too.
Yes.
You know? So
Yes.
I'd love to do that, but
It's really a rewarding experience. I mean,
is.
that's why we're so blessed that our 90
Yeah.
plus volunteers come out to be trained every year.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So Linda and Stacia, sorry, I wanted to say Stacia. Thanks for coming in and sharing
Absolutely.
some
Thank
time
you
here,
so
and
much.
Thank you.
look forward to go out meet these great people.
Come and see us. We're there all the time.
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
She
and-
won't be there at 6 though, but
No, and you know, and go out there and thank a vet.
yes.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yes,
thank a
please.
veteran,
Yes.
and
And pay your respects to those on the wall.
yes, that's right, and realize the freedoms we have and stuff we're paid for by
Yes.
many names on a black wall.
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
anyway, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys out there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
so that'll
Thank
kind
you
of
so much.
wrap it up for
Okay.
this episode of AV Veterans Talk here at Aerotech News.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of AV Veterans Talk.